American schools just arm teachers with guns while Australian schools ban packed lunches. And both countries think they are protecting kids. I compared education in these two countries for the past year, and what I found is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about schools. Some of this will make you angry. Some will shock you. But all of it is documented, verified, and happening right now in December 2025. Let's start with something that sounds innocent. What your kid eats for lunch. Sounds simple, right? Meet Emma. British expat. Moved to Melbourne in 2024. Packed his 7-year-old son's favorite peanut butter and jelly sandwich on his first day of school. 2 hours later, the school called. The sandwich was confiscated at morning tea. She received a formal warning letter about violating the nut-free policy and nude food requirements, meaning no packaged snacks, no processed foods, everything fresh and wrapper-free. I felt like a criminal for feeding my child, Emma told me. Back in London, nobody cared. Here, they inspect lunch boxes. Meanwhile, her sister in Texas, her kids eat flaming hot Cheetos and Mountain Dew from hallway vending machines. Zero oversight. No inspections. Complete freedom. Here's the reality. According to a 2025 Australian Education Standards report, 89% of Australian schools enforce strict nude food policies and nut-free zones. Schools send newsletters home with approved food lists. Some even ban birthday cupcakes. Parents joke that Australian schools treat lunch boxes like airport security. In America, a 2024 CDC study found that only 23% of schools regulate what students bring from home, and 67% of schools still have soda and candy vending machines on campus. In some states, kids can literally buy energy drinks between classes. Now, Australia's approach has results. Anaphylaxis emergency cases in schools dropped 34% since these policies started in 2020. Childhood obesity in Australia sits at 8.2%. But some parents call it government overreach, nanny state control. America's approach. Personal freedom, parental choice. But child obesity rates hit 19.7%, more than double Australia's. And allergic kids. They navigate school with EpiPens and fear. So who's right? Depends if you value freedom or safety more. But the lunch controversy? That's nothing compared to what's happening in American classrooms right now. Here's something that'll make your stomach drop. Active shooter drills. Marcus is 9 years old, lives in Ohio. He came home from school one day and asked his mom, Rachel, a question that made her blood run cold. Does Ms. Peterson keep a gun in a locked drawer? Rachel called the school. And yes, 28% of staff had completed firearm training and could carry concealed weapons on campus. This is his elementary school. 3rd grade. Reading, writing, arithmetic, and armed teachers. He's terrified of his own teacher now, Rachel said. He won't stay after class for help. He watches that drawer. In Sydney, when 8-year-old Liam asked his teacher the same question, the teacher was genuinely horrified. Mate, the most dangerous thing in my drawer is a stapler and some Tim Tams. Here's the data that'll blow your mind. A November 2025 Education Week analysis found that teachers in 28 U.S. states can now carry concealed weapons in schools. 28 states. That's more than half the country. The argument. Armed staff can respond faster than police during an active shooter situation. Australia hasn't had a school shooting since 1991. Not one. In 34 years, American students have survived 377 school shooting incidents in 2025 alone. And we are only in December. That's more than one per day. Kids practice huddling silently in closets. They learn to throw textbooks at shooters. Kindergartners practice playing dead. Australian schools conduct evacuation drills for fires and storms, not gunmen. When I told Australian parents about lockdown drills, they looked at me like I was describing a war zone. America's solution? More guns. Australia's solution after the 1996 massacre? Strict gun control and a $450 million investment in school mental health counselors. They now have one counselor per 100 students. America has one per 482 students. One country arms teachers. The other arms them with mental health training. Wait until you hear what American kids do instead of recess. One country banned recess to boost test scores. Guess which one? Tyler was 8 when his family moved from Brisbane to Atlanta in 2024. In Australia, he had 3 outdoor play breaks every day: morning tea, lunch, and afternoon break. Minimum 2 hours of running, climbing, and playing with his mates. In Georgia, his new school offered 15 minutes of recess total for the entire day. Some days, if the class was behind on test prep, recess got cancelled entirely. He comes home like a caged animal, his dad told me. Bouncing off walls, can't focus on anything, meltdowns every night. By month 3 in America, Tyler was diagnosed with ADHD. Prescribed medication. Ritalin for an 8-year-old. Back in Australia, that exact same behavior was considered normal boy energy. The 2025 Australian curriculum mandates a minimum of 1.5 hours daily physical activity for primary students. It's not optional. It's law. They believe moving bodies create focused minds. In America, 40% of elementary schools have eliminated recess entirely, according to a 2024 National Education Association report. And 7 states have 0 recess requirements. None. American kids average 18 minutes of outdoor play per school day. Australian kids get 92 minutes. And here's the kicker. Australia follows the Finland model. More play equals better focus equals higher test scores. Countries with the most recess consistently rank highest in international education rankings. Less recess doesn't improve test scores. It destroys mental health. ADHD diagnosis rates for American children hit 11.4% in 2025. In Australia, 6.2%. We are medicating kids for a problem we created. But here's where things get really controversial. A 6-year-old doing 3 hours of homework. That's America. Australia banned it. Meet Sophia, first grader in Massachusetts. Every night, she spent 2.5 hours on homework. Worksheets, reading logs, spelling practice, math drills. Her mom, Jessica, set a timer. Homework started at 5:30 p.m., sometimes wasn't finished until 8 o'clock. She'd cry at the dinner table, Jessica said. 6 years old, subbing over subtraction. We had no family time. No time to just be kids. Her cousin in Melbourne, same age, same grade level, 0 homework. Not because his parents opted out. Because Australian schools don't assign it. The school sent a note home that said, childhood is for playing, family time, and sleep. Learning happens here, at school. Here's the data. A 2024 American Time U survey found the average U.S. elementary student does 11 hours of homework per week. 11 hours. That's a part-time job. Australia implemented sweeping policy reform in 2023 across Victoria and New South Wales. No mandatory homework from kindergarten to year 2, maximum 30 minutes for ages 8 to 10. Stanford University research from 2025 found 0 academic benefit from homework for children under age 11. None. But they did find increased anxiety, sleep deprivation, and family stress. Kids who did excessive homework performed worse on creativity tests and showed higher rates of school burnout. And here's what'll really get you. Australian kids outscore American kids in international reading and math assessments despite doing dramatically less homework. 2024 PISA rankings put Australia at number 7 in reading. America ranked 19th. More homework doesn't mean more learning. It means more suffering. That's shocking, but nothing compared to the grading system nightmare. In America, one bad semester in 9th grade can ruin your life. Australia doesn't even give letter grades until you're 16. Daniel was 14, freshman year in Denver. He struggled with algebra I, combination of a tough teacher, his parents' divorce, and honestly just being 14 and dealing with teenage stuff. He got AC. That single C permanently tanked his GPA to 3.2. Despite straight A's junior and senior year, despite volunteer work and leadership positions, he was rejected from 8 universities. His dream schools said his GPA didn't meet the threshold. I made one mistake at 14, and I'm still paying for it at 18, Daniel said. I'm not the same person I was in 9th grade, but that grade follows me forever. His mate in Perth, Australia, received descriptive feedback reports until year 11, comments about strengths and growth areas, no letter grades, no permanent record haunting him. At 16, he started the ATAR system, which bases university admission only on final year performance. Late bloomer? Room to grow? Not in America. The American GPA system starts at age 13 or 14, follows students for life, and affects $1.2 trillion in scholarships and college admissions. One bad semester freshman year of high school can eliminate you from elite universities. Forever. Australia uses progressive assessment reports until age 16, focusing on growth and improvement rather than permanent ranking. Then the ATAR score, calculated entirely from year 12 results. Bad year 14? Doesn't matter. And the mental health impact is staggering. Youth anxiety disorders affect 31.9% of American teenagers. In Australia, it's 18.7%, according to the 2025 WHO Mental Health Report. American kids are 75% more likely to develop anxiety disorders than Australian kids. We've turned education into psychological warfare. And now, the most shocking difference that nobody talks about. Both countries call their public schools free, but one will bankrupt families anyway. The Martinez family lives in California. Public school, supposedly free, right? In 2024, they spent $2,847 out of pocket. Here's the breakdown they showed me. Mandatory sports fees, even though their daughter wasn't on any team. Technology fees for laptops the school provides. Classroom supplies. The teacher requested $175 worth of Kleenex, hand sanitizer, copy paper, pencils, and dry erase markers. Fundraising quotas. Expected to sell $300 in cookie dough or pay the difference. Parking permit for the senior. Yearbook. Graduation ceremony fee. Couldn't afford it. Their daughter was excluded from field trips. Sat in the library during assemblies. Other kids asked why she was too poor to go. We are not poor, Mrs. Martinez said. We both work. But we have 3 kids. We can't afford $8,500 a year for free school. The Wilson family in Sydney paid $340 annually for public school. Total. Everything included. And low-income families get it completely waived. A 2025 Education Trust study found that average American public school hidden costs range from $1,600 to $3,200 per child yearly. Australian government schools average $250 to $600, with means-tested subsidies covering most of it for families who need help. And here's something that broke my heart. 34% of American teachers spend their own money on classroom supplies, averaging $750 per year out of their personal salary. Australian teachers. School budgets cover 97% of supplies. Why the difference? Australia funds schools through federal taxes, equalizing resources across wealthy and poor areas. America funds schools primarily through local property taxes, which means wealthy districts spend $28,000 per student, while poor districts spend $9,000. Free education in America is free like free shipping. The cost is just hidden until checkout. So here's what we've learned. One country arms teachers while the other bans peanut butter. One country eliminated recess for test prep while the other mandates 2 hours of play. One country piles homework on 6-year-olds while the other banned it. One country permanently grades 13-year-olds while the other waits until they're 16. And both countries call their public schools free, but only one actually means it. Neither system is perfect. Australia's strict lunch policies drive some parents crazy. American freedom lets families make their own choices. But when you look at the outcomes, anxiety rates, obesity rates, school shootings, test scores, childhood happiness, the data tells a pretty clear story about which approach is actually protecting kids. So here's my question for you, and I really want to hear your answer in the comments. If you could choose your child's education system right now, which would you pick? American freedom with guns, pressure, and homework, or Australian safety with play, less stress, and fewer grades? And be honest, if you're American watching this, does this make you angry, defensive, or does it make you think maybe we need to change? Drop your take below. Tell me which country gets it right. Share your own school horror stories or success stories. Because I guarantee you, this comment section is about to explode, and I want to hear every side of this debate.